everyone. Welcome to Wealth Redefined. I'm your host, Michael Reynolds, certified financial planner and owner of Elevation Financial. Thanks for joining me today. Glad to have you with me. Coming up on the end of the year. And so this is going to be a roundup of end of year financial planning items for you to review, take a look at, consider, those sorts of things. So let's dig in to the end of year financial planning items list for today. So the end of the year is often a time of focus, wrapping up projects, finding time to rest, and planning for next year. But it also comes with some opportunities in our financial lives. There's deadlines, there's milestones, things that can be used to pay attention to, as well as areas of financial planning that often warrant some review. So what are some money areas to focus on as we approach the end of the year? First, retirement account contributions. So retirement accounts generally have deadlines on contributions for the current tax year. Different accounts can have different deadlines. For example, IRA and Roth IRAs have a deadline of April 15th of the following year for contributing under the current tax year. 401k plans, however, generally cut off on December 31st. There are some exceptions, but generally 401k plans will cut off at the end of the year for contributions. So either way, I encourage people to get their current year contributions in before the end of the year. Even if you technically have more time, I think it's a good habit to develop, and it keeps contributions organized better. Additionally, life can get in the way, and before we know it, we've missed the April 15th deadline that we're shooting for. Now, if you're doing tax planning, it often makes sense to wait. So take this into account, and each individual person's situation may vary. All right, next, tax planning. Nobody likes paying taxes. And often there are tax planning opportunities that can help you save money toward the end of the year. For example, if you want to contribute to a Roth IRA, but your income is projected to be slightly over the modified adjusted gross income limit for a contribution, it can make sense to lower your income through pre-tax contributions. Contributing to a pre-tax retirement plan is a great way to get yourself under the limit while making an investment in your future. Additionally, you may want to consider front-loading your charitable contributions by making use of a donor-advised fund, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes here. So generally, tax planning can take the form of adjusting your income near the end of the year by doing certain things that can bring it under certain brackets, and that can help you be eligible for other types of things. So that type of tax planning at the end of the year can be helpful. Next, Roth conversions. For some, getting more money into Roth accounts is a high priority. A Roth conversion involves taking money from your traditional IRA and converting it, which is a transfer, to your Roth IRA. The converted money is now Roth money, and it will now grow tax-free under eligible conditions. However, you will pay taxes on the money converted, so be aware that you're taking a tax hit now in exchange for tax-free growth in the future. So this can be useful planning at the end of the year if you're well under a low tax bracket, because with this in mind, you can fill up your current tax bracket with the converted money and pay taxes on it now at your lower rate. So Roth conversions can make a lot of sense if you're in a lower tax bracket in the given year, and that could be a great time to do these conversions, pay taxes on them at a lower rate, and then enjoy that tax-free growth in the future. Next, tax loss harvesting. If you have brokerage accounts that are not in retirement accounts and therefore not tax advantage, you may be eligible for tax loss harvesting. This involves selling investments at a loss in order to capture a tax deduction on capital gains. It's not always a good move for everyone, and it's often an overstated value in some cases, but if you have some significant capital gains that you would like to offset, this can be a tax saver, so take a look at that. The sibling of tax loss harvesting is tax gain harvesting. While the former uses losses to save on taxes, tax gain harvesting aims to capture and lock in gains when you're in a low or even a 0% capital gains bracket in the given year. So if you find yourself in a 0% capital gains bracket and you'd like to lock in those gains while paying no capital gains tax, selling the positions at a gain while in this tax bracket and then repurchasing them later can help you by resetting the basis of those investments, and you can save on taxes if you're in a higher capital gains bracket later. Next, before the end of the year, you can buy I-bonds. Each individual taxpayer can buy up to $10,000 in I-bonds each year. If I-bonds fit into your financial plan, you'll need to buy them before December 31st in order to use this year's limit. Next, make charitable contributions or use a donor advised fund. So, charitable contributions can lower your taxable income. But what if you don't have a specific giving plan yet? A donor advised fund is a great way to front load your giving in a high income year so that you can lower your taxable income while setting up your giving budget for the future. So, donor advised funds are a great way to do a lot of front loading of tax deductible contributions, charitable contributions, and then you can decide later how to actually do the giving. So you can kind of detach and decouple the tax deductible contribution from the actual giving. Next, pre-purchase necessary business expenses. So if you're a business owner, it can be beneficial to pre-purchase items you need for business before December 31st. This way, you're lowering your taxable income while getting things you need for your business. Caution, though, do not buy things you don't need just to save on taxes. This defeats the purpose. Too many business owners, for example, buy an expensive truck they don't need just to save some money on taxes when they would have been better off just keeping the income and just paying taxes on it. So I use the truck example because that's sort of a common go-to for business owners is, hey, I want to save on taxes, so I'm going to buy an expensive truck that I don't really need, but it'll lower my taxable income and I get a truck, and they buy it through their business. So only buy things you're going to buy anyway. Just buy them in advance. Next, before the end of the year, gift money using your annual gift exclusion. So you can gift up to $16,000 to anyone, for example, children, family members, friends, without it counting against your lifetime limit in 2022. This does increase to $17,000 in 2023. So it's an annual limit. So be mindful of that December 31st deadline. This also includes 529 college savings plans. So be sure to get those contributions in before the end of the year. Otherwise, if you go over that limit in a given year, you may have to file a gift tax return on that. So the December 31st deadline is for gifting, which includes 529 savings plan contributions. Next, review your estate plan and beneficiaries. So everyone has an estate plan. They either have one they've designed or they have one decided for them by the state. So I like to use that terminology because when it's framed in those terms, most people start to understand the value of an estate plan. An estate plan doesn't have to be complicated. There are some basic estate documents that everyone should have, including a will, possibly a trust to go with it, durable power of attorney, living will, healthcare power of attorney, and HIPAA authorization. So the end of the year is a good time to review your estate documents and make sure they're still up to date and that they reflect your current wishes. At the same time, it's also a good idea to review the beneficiaries on your retirement and investment accounts to make sure they're correct and they reflect your wishes. Also, don't forget to add contingent beneficiaries. I see this a lot where you've got beneficiaries assigned on IRAs and investment accounts, but there's no contingent beneficiary. So if the primary beneficiary passes along with you or before you, you've got to have a contingent beneficiary to assign that in those situations. Next, review your insurance policies. Do you have enough life insurance, disability insurance, home and auto? Do you need an umbrella policy? So the end of the year is a good time to review all this and see if any changes need to be made. You may also find that policies are no longer needed and can be canceled. I've had situations where I work with clients and we review insurance at the end of the year and they have maybe duplicate coverage or a policy that they don't need the coverage on anymore because they've self-insured in other areas. And they're like, well, we can cancel this and save some money. I'm glad we paid attention. So these are things you can find. If you haven't shopped your auto and home policies in a few years, you may be able to get a better rate. So get some new quotes. Additionally, take a look at your deductibles. Are they too low when compared to your overall liquidity? And could you save some money on premiums by increasing your deductibles because you can take on more risk due to your higher level of liquidity? So those are some things that I like to look at the end of the year when it comes to money. Ultimately, just review your financial goals as well. It never hurts to review those goals, revisit what's important to you and define how money helps support those goals. Because having a plan helps you approach spending, saving, and investing with intention. This can lead to a better quality of life overall and honestly, greater fulfillment. The better you are with planning with your money, the more fulfilling and satisfying and happy your life can be, honestly. So that is my list of end of year financial planning items to pay attention to. So with that, I'm always happy to chat. Feel free to reach out via my website, which is elevationfinancial.com. And if you want to talk, you can send me a note through my website, or better yet, I really prefer when people just go ahead and book a complimentary money session online. There's no fee for that. It's strictly just what it says, a complimentary money session. It's about 45 minutes long. We chat about whatever questions you have. And if we decide to work together after that, great. If not, that's okay. I'm really just happy to answer questions. That's at elevationfinancial.com. As always, thanks for joining me today. Have a great day. We will see you next time.